I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create the walls for the base that you just created. So here's my base right here. We'll enter it in a minute. So here's my Tinkercad online window. This is my account. And then the other is just the class site. So I'm going to open up. I'm going to the class site. I'm going into where Mini Maze is. So I scroll the bottom, Video Tech. And here's Mini Maze. You've been here a number of times. So that's why I'm going fairly quickly. So I'm going to click on Mini Maze, and then in here you've already done everything down to create the base. Now we're doing this one, number 2. Here's the measurements. So the base was 1/4 of an inch high, 3 inches by 3 inches. On the walls it's also going to be 1/4 of an inch high, and then the width of that wall is 1/8 of an inch. The walls, each one, the length is different depending upon where you are building the wall. So that's why I don't put the length there. You know what I got to do? I'm going to show you how to my inside tips in order to really save you time. I'm going to show you that now. But what you should really be looking at to make more sense out of this is here's my grade sheet right here. Click on the grade sheet. Here it is. We've already done the base, 1/4 inch height, width 3. So here, that 1/4 inch width, 0.25. And if you're not sure, where it says here 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 inch, you just 0.25. That's what you'll enter in. 1/8 of an inch is for the walls. The width of the wall is 1/8 of an inch. The height is 1/4 of an inch, just like the base. So I'm going to show you a trick we're going to do. And here, 1/8 is you're going to enter into it 0.25 into Tinkercad. And then later on, when you do the holes, all you have to do is enter 0.375, and that'll go ahead and give you the size. I'm going to now, and then, so here, this is just the visual. Understand the visual. It should help you out tremendously. And here's all your measurements. So I'm coming back now to my Tinkercad. Here's Tinkercad. I'm going to go into the base that we had just created. And watch how I do this. I'm going to save us some time, okay? So let me see if I can scroll. I guess I can't scroll. There. Okay, so here it's 3 inches. I'm going to click on this. See how it's 3 inches by 3 inches, right? Okay, and it's 1/4 of an inch thick. Well, why not? Let's just go ahead, instead of remaking from scratch a wall that is 1/4 of an inch high. Why not just copy and paste this base that's already 1/4 of an inch high? That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go click on the base. I'm going to go to I could come up here and go edit. Well, it's not going to allow it. So I'm going to go right click, Control, or if you're on a Mac, Command. It's not showing it either. So on my keyboard, if you're using it might just be my mouse. If you're using a PC, then go ahead and do Control or right click and go copy. Mac, I'm going to go Command C, and then right next to it, I'm going to click, and I'm going to go on my keyboard, Command V or Control V or right click V, and to go paste. And you just saw me paste it. Now I have 2 bases, right? This is going to save me time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this base a wall. And this is, so first I want to be able to tell the difference between my base that I already created in this wall that I'm going to create right now. So I'm going to change the color. I'm going to make the color black. You can change it to any color you want. Then I know, according to this, my wall is going to be 0.25, 1/4 of an inch equals 0.25, and the width of it, the top of the wall, the width top, see right here, the width right there, the width of all these walls that I have is 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to go click on this, and the width 1/8 equals 0.25. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go width of my wall 0.125. There's my width, okay? And my height is already set at 1/4 of an inch because I copied the base, and the base was already 1/4 of an inch. That's how I save time. Now I'm going to take this, and I know, look, I look over here, see that corner, there's a wall, there's a wall, I'm coming around the outside. All these are walls, and in the interior, all these blacks are walls. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to go click, hold, drag, I'm going to try and line it up, okay? and you know, it's really jumping. And so what I'm realizing is, what I've taught you in many training videos already, I did not set this to 1/64. 1/64 will give me very fine movements instead of big jumping movements. So now I'm at 1/64. And you know, now that I'm so close to where I want it, I'm not going to drag it anymore. I'm going to go to my keyboard where the arrows are, and I'm going to slowly move it down. And you see that dotted lines that just appeared? When I go up, see how it disappears? When I go down, I'm going to go up. Okay, when you see that, you know you're right on top of the base. You've lined it up. Now I need to zoom in there and take a look. I could come up here and just hit the plus. Instead, I'm going to click on, come on, Fit View to Selected Shape. So it's going to zoom in on that. There it is. Now, you see how now I've zoomed in? See how it's not lined up? So I need this outer wall to line up with the outer edge of the base. So it's selected. I'm going to go to my keyboard and I'm going to do the down arrow. Look at that. See how it's still showing that red down there on the base? We need this wall to line up perfectly with the outside of this base, the outside of this wall with the outside of that base. Here goes. I'm going to do the keyboard one more time. Click. I'm going to say I think it's lined up. Okay? Now the only thing I'm not sure of is that edge there lined up with that edge, and is this line over here lined up with that edge? I don't know. And part is because I need to also switch to perspective view. See how that throws it off? And this one here shows it perfectly lined up. And when I look at this, see over here how the red is showing? That means this edge of this wall is not lined up with this edge of the base. So I'm going to click on the wall to activate it. I'm going to hit the right arrow on my keyboard. I'm going to click off, and now it truly does look like it's lined up. Okay? And we know it's the same size. Why? It's 3 inches because we copied and pasted that base. So of course the wall is the same length. I'm now going to go take a peek. So when I look now and I look down, that's looking pretty good. And so the only thing I need to do now is sync that. You know, I'm going to go take a side look. That looks good. That looks like it's perfectly lined up. Do you see that? I'm not sure how we can get any closer. That looks lined up. Let's go the other side. So I'm up here on the cube, and this is how that looks perfectly lined up. So I think we've done a good job there. And now I need to set the plane, so I'm going to do work plane. Why? Because I need for this, in order to group these and make them come together, I need this to drop one touch into I need the wall to be a part of the base by just the littlest bits. When I group it and that 3D printer starts printing, there's no gap there. They're actually a part of each other. So I'm going to go work plane. I'm going to click right here's my flat side, my 90-degree side. I'm going to go click. I now have a work plane, and now I'm going to take this. I'm going to click on the wall. I'm going to come to my keyboard. I'm in 1/64, so it's going to make a really fine movement. I'm going to do down, and now I've just put the wall I'm going to say 1/64. I mean, the smallest amount. It's now a part of the base. When I group it, I'll be able to print this because they're going to become one once I group them. So now I'm going to go back up to the top, and now that we've done this perfectly, we don't need to remake this wall. What we're going to do now is we're going to go copy paste to this side, and then copy paste wall into that side. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can see everything. I'm going to come up here to the work plane, so anytime I'm making changes I have to reset that plane. I'm in 90 degrees, a flat mode. There's no angle here. I'm going to go click, and now I'm already have the wall is highlighted, so it's selected. You see those boxes right there? And then I'm going to go to my keyboard. If it's a Mac, Command C, or if it's a PC, I can just right click on that box and go copy, or, oh, and I take it back. Here's the copy function here. So I can just click on that once it's active. God, I've never used these. Okay, and now I'm going to paste it. So I click on, actually I don't even have to click. I just can go ahead on a Mac and go Command V, or right click on a PC and go paste, or same thing with, or go Control V. Now I'm going to drag this up to the top. See how I'm saving myself all this time? And it's already set up so it's a little touch into the base. The wall is 1/64 into the base. All these measurements have been done. And now I'm going to click Release, and then I'm coming over here so I can zoom in. And now I'm going to look at this. I'm going to click off. Looks like there might be a little bit of red over here. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to go about down. Okay? Looks like it is pretty good there. So I'm going to go arrow back up, and I'm not sure about this edge over here, but it still looks really close. So I'm going to go, how about up to the top on my cube so I can look at this. I'm going to go to the back, and let's take a peek to see. I'm clicking off. It looks pretty accurate. What happens if I go to, no, if I go ahead and work on it, actually does look really accurate. So I'm going to keep it like that. Okay? So I'm going back up to the top, and I'm going to click on my overall cube. Sorry, on my overall base. I have two lined up right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on, click off, click on one of the walls. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the copy again. So if you're on Mac, you can do Command C. Also, you have this right here, which is copy. And there's my paste. So I'm going to go paste. There it is. I'm going to bring this wall I just pasted, and it's an exact copy. I'm going to bring it down, and if you notice, you see those arrows right there. Watch, I'm going to come off. You see those black arrows right there. If you click on those arrows, you will be able to swing this to 90 degrees. There it is. See how it says 90 up at the top? And there's two different ways to swing this. You can swing it. See how there's an outer track with fine points, or this inner track with much fatter points. So I'm going to click on, click, and then grab, there, click. And now I'm doing, see how I'm doing the inner loop? And that inner loop does big jumps. But same thing, the outer one just gives you smaller fine turns, okay? But all I need is 90. So I'm going to take my wall, I'm going to bring it out. You know what happened? I moved my base. So I'm going to go Edit Undo. Whoops. I'm going to go Edit Undo. Let's see how many times I can do Edit Undo. So I don't want to there. That's perfect, okay? Now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to go to 90. I'm going to take my wall and move it as close to the edge as possible. And I'm going to now zoom in. Let's see what happens. I like it, but it looks like it's a little bit off. See how it's right there? So I'm still going to go, I'm going to click off. It does look like it's not perfectly lined up. So I'm going to take it and go in. Yeah, you see that red? See how it's not lined up? It's just barely off. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to, on my keyboard, touch the arrow to the left, and that should do it. I'm now going to zoom out, and I'm going to click off. Looks like down here on the bottom it might be slightly off too. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go I'm not sure. that looks really close. It looks really close. And up there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold off for right now, and I'm going to start working on this. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go copy, and then I'm going to click here. I'm going to go paste. There's my second one. I'm going to get these shapes out of the way by hitting this up arrow. They're out of the way. I'm going to move this. There, I'm going to zoom in. Looks like red is showing again. So I'm going to zoom in. Whoops, I'm going to bring it out just a touch. I'm going to use my keyboard arrow. That looks good. And how does it look? Is it lined up? It does look fairly lined up. So let's go check it out. Okay, so I'm going to move it back. And now let's go. Well, that does, ooh, I don't like that. See how it's off right there? So I'm going to go ahead and go to the side because it's sticking up. And I'm going to go work plane because I have to make any changes. I have to reset the work plane. I'm going to bring this down with the keyboard arrow. I think I just did it. Yeah, I'm going to go down with the keyboard arrow, and now I'm going to keep checking the sides and see if I have it lined up. That looks really nice. That looks nice. Let's go check the next side. Those look nice. Ooh, something's wrong there. See here? When I go to the other side over here, I think he has to come down. Yeah, watch this. See over here, this one here, this wall is a little bit higher than the, see how here the base goes higher, so the wall is pushed in. Let's go take, I'm going to spin around. I need to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Okay, let's go back. So I'm going to go ahead and, come on. That looks lined up there. And that's not lined up there. So that's the back, right, between right and back. You should be doing this as well. That looks lined up there. See how that line is coming to this line? How about I go left? This here, see right there? That looks like he's a little bit higher, or the wall is a little bit. So I'm going to take, zoom in, and I'm going to take this wall here. I'm going to see if I can drop. No, it's the wrong one. That wall didn't go down. And I'm going to keep, okay, and that's how, I'm going to go back up. I think they are lined up right now. Let me go like this. Oh, I can't, you have to have your, if you're going to turn anything, you have to make sure that you keep setting that work plane. So I'm going to come back, look at this, and I think we're okay. So that being said, I do think we're okay. I'm going to take this one down just a little bit and see what happens. Down arrow, and I'm going to go undo. I do think, now I'm just messing things up. I think we're perfect. So I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to reset my work plane, and now that I've checked this, I'm ready to go. The only thing I need to do right now is do the interior walls, and now you know how to do it. So here's my design. Here's all my guidelines on what the sizes of the holes, the size of the walls, size of the base must be, and any restrictions such as block walls and or interior walls. They're the same. And when you go to make your interior walls, all you're going to do is go take one of these walls, exterior walls, copy it, paste it, and then shorten the length of it, and then it will fit. You can then drag it to whatever spot you want, and you'll be, so don't make new walls. Watch the videos and you're going to see yourself just copying existing walls, then bringing them in and putting them on to your base, and that's going to make it very fast for you. Okay, I hope this video is of use to you in showing you fast ways to quickly make your exterior walls.